is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going to check out the video. What's good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. We're going to talk about Carmelo Anthony possibly signing with the Brooklyn Nets. I think this is an opportunity for him that he's been waiting for. You got Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, and a lot of players have been showing a lot of love and support for Carmelo Anthony over these terrible couple months and year. Obviously, he started off in Oklahoma City after being one of the best players in the world, all-star in New York. He had a couple of knee surgeries that required him to miss a significant amount of time when he was playing with the Knicks before he got traded to Oklahoma City. I think that that's something that a lot of people forget or they don't really bring up, is that he was having significant surgery on his knees, and he was already not a great defender. Even in his prime, he never was a great defender, and I don't think the knee surgery did him any favors. Plus, he was in his 30s and getting older at that point, so he was losing a lot of his athleticism, and I think the knee surgery didn't really help him either at that time. And then he went to Oklahoma City. That was a team that really made it seem like they wanted him and he can play well for them. He can be a great piece. They thought that they'd be the rivals to the Golden State Warriors at that time because Kevin Durant left left OKC to go to the Warriors, and Russell Westbrook would get his own big three. Plus, they still did have Robertson, and at that time, Steven Adams was also on that roster. Some people thought that Carmelo was the fourth best player on that roster underneath Steven Adams, Paul George, and Russell Westbrook. I didn't really see it that way. Carmelo Anthony averaged 20 points per game damn near that whole entire season. Until the last couple months is when he started falling off and tapering off a little bit. His shot attempts and stuff went down. But the team was able to figure it out enough to make it to the playoffs, where they would lose to the Utah Jazz in the first round. That was basically one of the more disappointing big threes, is that they hung on to a playoff spot but never even – they was down 3-2 against the Utah Jazz. So it shows you that they didn't really mesh and gel right, and they never was really a championship contender because they didn't even win 50 games. Not only did they not win 50 games, they didn't even make it that far in the playoffs, and they lost to a young Utah team. And then, obviously, I said this before, but Carmelo went through a problem with Oklahoma City. They wanted him gone. They ended up trading him for Dennis Schroeder. But like I told you, I don't really think Carmelo has been the problem. I do think he has been scapegoated, like a lot of people said, because once he did get traded for Oklahoma City to go get Dennis Schroeder, they still got put out in the first round, still didn't win 50 games, and really wasn't a contender even last year, even though Paul George erupted and had one of his best seasons. And you can make an argument that the shoulder was really a problem, but we knew that going into the playoffs, and a lot of people still picked the Oklahoma City Thunder to win, just like they picked them against Utah, and they didn't even make it to 7 games again when they lost in the first round to Portland, which we all know the famous shot by Damian Lillard, but Carmelo Anthony was not on that team, so they still had the same results in a regular season and in the playoffs, but the only difference is Carmelo was not even on that team. And then you look at Houston. The Houston Rockets, they made it seem like Carmelo Anthony was supposed to be the missing piece, that he can really be the guy that can be a big difference maker for them, and they felt like he still had a lot left in the tank, and he still can play at a high level. Like I said, we knew he wasn't a great defender going into Houston. Nobody was thinking he was going to be a lockdown defender. People just thought that he would give them an element that they didn't really have, another scorer alongside James Harden and Chris Paul, and a guy that can get his own shot and still space out the floor. Well, that's at least what we thought, because it didn't really happen that way. Daryl Morey really bought into the Carmelo thing. He really thought highly of Carmelo, and that's what you want. You want somebody that has confidence in you, that's somebody that really believes in you, and you do want to feel needed, especially after getting treated like he did in Oklahoma City, being traded for, then being almost waived to the point where they had to trade him for Dennis Schroeder. Then he got waived and he was picked up. But his brand and his image really got destroyed these last couple seasons, as people think that he's a guy that's unwilling to sacrifice for the team. People think he's a guy that's not willing to make the extra commitment defensively. People see that he hasn't been able to make the three-point shots consistently enough to warrant him as an NBA player. Like I always say, if you do want to play that stretch forward position, which is a position that a lot of people think he should play, he's going to have to find ways to make up for his defensive deficiencies by being better offensively, which he wasn't able to really do in Oklahoma or in Houston, and he has only gotten older. I do know Carmelo still can play. He still is an NBA quality player at this point in his career, but is he really worth the drama? Is he really worth the ego problems that he can bring? And is he really willing to sacrifice and buy into a team concept and really buy into a role? It seemed like he got his mind right. It seemed like he has been humbled and brought back down to earth, as he has been a 20-point scorer majority of his career and a multiple-time All-NBA and All-Star for a majority of his career. It's not easy just to turn into a role player. Some people do it easy. Some people retire. Some people got to be humbled, and it is by not allowing you to play in the NBA. If teams are not willing to take that chance, if teams are not willing to take that gamble, you're not going to be on the NBA roster, which means is either you're going to have to change or you're going to be out of the NBA. And that's where Carmelo Anthony is right now in his career. He's in a situation where a lot of teams don't want the baggage. A lot of the teams are not willing to take the gamble, and a lot of teams don't really think that Anthony can bring something substantial to their team, so they're not willing to pick him up. Now, when you look at a lot of other players that have been picked up throughout free agency the last couple weeks, a lot of those players, are they better than Carmelo Anthony? Talent-wise, no. But a lot of these guys know who they are, they know what they can do, and they're willing to come off the bench, and they're willing to be a seventh, eighth, or a ninth man on a team, even if it's a good team, even if it's a bad team, even if it's a championship team. And that mentality and their ability to already know that role gives them an advantage over Carmelo Anthony, because he still has to learn that role, has to accept that role, and he has to play it. And a lot of those players have done it already and have already played in that role consistently for a couple years. So he was already going against the fire once he damaged his name when he did the coming off the bench in Oklahoma City, and he never did it. And then obviously in the Houston thing didn't really help his ego or his brand or his image at all, because they waived him and he never made a roster ever since then. And he's trying as hard as he can to make another one. So this has really been a struggle. If you would have told me 5 years ago Carmelo Anthony would be out of the league with nobody really taking a chance on him and he's fully healthy, I would have called you crazy, because he still was giving you 20 points a game with the New York Knicks. But 3 to 4 years later, Carmelo Anthony haven't played in the NBA for months, and he still don't even have a contract or even an offer. And it is good that the NBA players have been supporting him, have been showing him love, keeping him positive, because this is a rough stretch and this is not a good look, especially when you look at his career now, and when you look at it when he retired. We're going to remember this stretch of Carmelo Anthony not being good enough, or not being able to make a team, or retiring early because he's forced out of the NBA. And it's not really a good look, especially when you're trying to win the title before you retire, and now you can't even get on the roster at all. I really want to see if the Nets are going to be sincere and follow Kyrie and Kevin Durant. Usually the star players can influence the general manager and the organization to get certain players on the team, or to give them a chance to try out. They have scheduled a tryout and a workout for Carmelo Anthony. I know he's going to be ready. I know he's going to be determined, because he has really been focused on making a return to the NBA. I don't believe that the Brooklyn Nets are going to be a championship team, but this could be his only opportunity. Even if he don't get it, this is just a good sign to even get the workout going and just have a chance to make it, because he's at a point where he couldn't even get to that point. So I really want to see how Carmelo Anthony attacks his. Is he going to be able to make a roster so he can still show that he can compete and play at the highest level, or is this the end? Like, is no team going to try him out? No team is going to sign him. I didn't see this coming, especially when he played in Houston. I thought he'd at least get another team that would be interested after all the players that spoke up for him. But instead, he's not on the roster at all still. And the season is about to get ready to go to preseason, and he hasn't even been on the roster this whole summer, and that's just mind blowing to me, knowing that he still can play and contribute. But you have to be more than that to be in the NBA, especially when you're competing for those very small roster spots at the end of the summer, where they really want to give you a non-guaranteed contract and just bring you into camp and waive you, or give you a contract where they have the flexibility and the power over your career, like we seen Dwight Howard. And Dwight Howard is a traditional center. He's not even a modern day center, and he still got a contract. And Carmelo Anthony can shoot, can score, and can play multiple positions. The only problem is he hasn't got a contract at all, even a non-guaranteed one. He hasn't even got a two-way contract, which it's just crazy, but it is reality. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think Carmelo Anthony gonna get on the Brooklyn Nets? Do you think he deserves a look by the Nets? Do you think he is gonna make the roster? Do you think he's just gonna go out there and just show people I'm gonna be in the NBA for a longer time? Do you think he's gonna flop? Do you think he's not gonna make it? Do you think his career is over at this point and this is the end? If he don't get this contract or this chance with the Nets, he's done for the rest of his career. And that could be realistic because he's been out for so long and hasn't got a contract yet. So this could be his final opportunity to get on a roster. And if it is, he has had a Hall of Fame career. He has been one of the great players. He is going to go down as one of the best players to never win the ring. And his last 3 years is going to be known as a disappointment, as he was never able to accept his role, never able to adapt, and now he's not even able to make a roster, and he still can play. That's not going to look good when we look back at Carmelo's career, especially at the end. We're going to always remember this, and it's not for the better, it's not for the great. It's just actually a tarnishment of his legacy. And it's unfortunate, but this is reality right now. We're going to remember this when we think about Carmelo for the right or the wrong reasons, but this is actually happening, and it do seem crazy, but it is. Let me know what you guys think, though, in the comment section below about Carmelo Anthony and the Nets, and should he make the roster, should he not make the roster, or do you think that he's going to end up retiring after playing his last season with the Houston Rockets, wasn't even that long. So it's just crazy that this is really happening. But if Kevin Durant and Kyrie can get on a team, he got to take full advantage of it, unless he's going to be done. Like this video, check out my older videos on my channel. I have many playlists. I break down rookies, I break down players, I break down summer league. I do cover the draft, and I got a mock draft up already. Not only that, I do podcasts, and I also talk about the game of basketball, whether it comes to summer league, free agency, trade deadline, buyouts, and also I cover top 10 discussions and stuff like that. So you like this type of video, you like the NBA, check out my older videos and my playlists. I enjoy making these videos. You guys enjoy watching.